صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. واقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم وأخرجوكم من حيث أخرجوكم والفتنة أشد من القتل ولا تقاتلوهم عند المسجد الحرام حتى يقاتلوكم فيه فإن قاتلوكم فاقتلوهم كذلك جزاء الكافرين فإن انتهوا فإن الله غفور رحيم وقاتلوهم حتى لا تكون فتنة ويكون الدين لله فإن انتهوا فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين الشهر الحرام بالشهر الحرام والحرمات قصاص فمن اعتدى عليكم فاعتدوا عليه بمثل ما اعتدى عليكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله مع المتقين وأنفقوا في سبيل الله ولا تلقوا بأيديكم إلى التهلكة وأحسنوا إن الله يحب المحسنين وأتموا الحج والعمرة لله فإن أحصرتم فما استيسر من الهدي ولا تحلقوا رؤوسكم حتى يبلغ الهدي محله فمن كان منكم مريضا أو به أذى من رأسه ففدية من صيام أو صدقة أو نسك فإذا أمنتم فمن تمتع بالعمرة إلى الحج فما استيسر من الهدي فمن لم يجد فصيام 3 أيام في الحج و7 إذا رجعتم تلك 10 كاملة ذلك لمن لم يكن أهله حاضر المسجد الحرام واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله شديد العقاب صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغتيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغتيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلعلع كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جدا يا رسول الله، أتأذنني أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فذن الحسين نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جدا، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذنني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذنني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بذعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلم نكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء، أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحمتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا هرب لمن هاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم، منهم مني وأنا منهم. فاجعل سلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال له عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدهيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بهرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبتها هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت نكسا. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت نكسا؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبألها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذنني أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبت الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتهية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بهرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وهي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت نكسا فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وهفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فضنا وفاذ شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم مهمومون إلا وفرج الله هما ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما ولا طالب هاجة إلا وقضى الله هاجتا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فضنا وسئدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فاذوا وسئدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما شاء الله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله نعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض أرواحنا له الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الإمام علي بن موسى الرضا عليه الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم. ويكون نظرك في وقت القراءة إلى موضع سجودك وفي وقت الركوع بين رجليك. Respected elders, brothers, sisters, tonight, what an occasion. We extend our congratulations and mubaraki first and foremost to the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. And then to all of the mu'mineen and mu'minat. The life of our 8th Imam is very, very unique. You've heard so many majalis on the 8th Imam. You've heard how, for example, he went to lands which no other Imam went to. He was put in tricky positions which other Imams were not put into. He had to encounter the main opponent of his time, was probably the most cunning and cleverest of all of the different khulafa which have passed, Ma'mun. Imam's life is very, very unique. Even where he's buried is very unique. No other Imams have gone to these lands, no other Imams have passed through these lands. But the imprint and the impression which Imam left is also very, very unique. Today, the fact that we have such a thriving country which is Shia by nature, Shia by rule, yes, not perfect, but alhamdulillah, at least it's something there that we have, is very much thanks to the efforts of Bibi Masuma Yaqum and Imam Ali ibn Musa Ridha alayhi salatu wassalam. You go to his haram, may Allah inshallah give us all tawfiq to go to Mashhad again and again. You go to his haram, you are marveled by its grandeur, its scope, its size, its beauty, its calligraphy, the tiling, the gold around, the sheer number of sahans. Sometimes even we think, what if other Imams had died in this country? We wonder how magnificent their harams and these things would be. Of course, this is just our thoughts. This is just our brains telling us these things. Allah has His own plan. He knows where to put everybody and where their souls will be taken at the end of the day. But for sure, Imam Raza alayhi salam's shrine and his complex is something very unique. Do you know, for example, right now, if I asked you, who is the richest man in Iran? You may say this businessman or that businessman. It is not. It is actually on paper Imam Ali-Ridha. On paper, it is Imam Ali-Ridha. This is how much development, investment, business, trade, farming, agriculture is all done in his name. And he is actually the owner of all of these things. So even on paper in Iran today, the richest man is Imam Ridha. Now, he has many, many merits. So in today's lecture, what I want to do is to look at some of his merits, specifically focusing upon the ziarat that we recite. The ziarat after our namaz is, for example, typically in our community, yes, it has changed these days, I know. We'll discuss that a little bit, inshallah. Typically in our communities and in our culture, what do? After every namaz, we recite 3 salams. We were always taught from Bachpan, from Nanparthi, 3 salams. Number 1, Aba Abdullah, number 2, Imam Raza, and number 3, our 12th Imam. We are taught that these are the salams to recite. Yes. Now the question may arise, why these 3? Why not the other Imams? Why not the other Ma'sumin? Why is this? Yes, we can discuss these things. So, the first thing is that we find that there are 2 Imams uniquely whose ziyarat has been promoted through Ahlul Bayt's narrations more than any of the other Imams. One is, of course, our third Imam, Sayyidul Shuhada. His ziyarat is, of course, very much narrated in many, many places. You'll find tens of ahadith on the merits of the ziyarat of Abu Abdullah. Yes. And the second one is our eighth Imam. A man comes to Imam Jawad alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, and he asks, is it more meritorious for me, is it more rewarding for me to perform the ziyarat of Abu Abdullah in Karbala or your father's ziyarat? Imam Jawad replies to him that Imam Hussein's ziyarat is absolutely in its place, no doubt. But everyone respects Imam Hussein. Even non-Shias respect Imam Hussein as being the grandson of Rasulullah and son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet. There is no doubt here. Furthermore, all the Shias, no matter which domination and sect you come from, they will respect Abu Abdullah. It is only when you come to the eighth Imam that you find there is no more major division amongst the Shias. Up until fourth Imam there were issues, fifth Imam there were issues, sixth Imam major issues, seventh Imam Waqifiyya issues. When you come to the eighth Imam, you have no more issues. Now, if you are Hasht Imami, you are also Dawazda Imami. If you are a believer in 8 Imams, then more or less you will be the believer in all 12. So Imam Jawad alayhi salam replies to him, he says, yes, Abu Abdullah's ziyarat is in its place. But everyone does that ziyarat. The very special of our followers do the ziyarat of my father in Khurasan. So Imam's ziyarat has got some unique properties. It has been praised with different amazing amounts of sawab. For example, and we have riwayat for all of this, but there are so many that I will not go into all the riwayat. For example, it is more rewarding than the ziyarat of Imam Hussein from this angle, that Imam Hussein is very much revered by everybody. Imam Ridha is not very much revered by everybody. Number two, as an encouragement for people, because Karbala had become very famous. Khurasan, Mashhad, Tus, that land which is so far away, that may remain not known by people because it's so far from the lands of the traditional lands of the Muslims. Number two, it has been narrated that someone who performs the ziyarat of our eighth Imam, on 2 occasions, especially on these 2 occasions, he will receive assistance from the eighth Imam. Number one is at the time of Hisab on the Day of Judgment. That time where even Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam, Allahumma salli ala, used to tremble, and people would say, Mawla, why are you trembling? And he says, I thought of that time of Hisab in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the other one is that it will help to forgive sins. Number 3, we sometimes go through life, we have difficulties, we have challenges, we have issues, things happen. We become maybe sad, we have a negativity in the heart, we feel ghamgeen, we feel down. We don't know why sometimes even, but we have a feeling of feeling down. Riwayat says that you go to do the ziyarat of the eighth Imam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove this negativity and this down feeling in your heart. Now listen to the words of Imam himself. How does he describe his ziyarat? He says, Allah faman zarani fi ghurbati. He says, let it be known. I am, so here we will discuss again the word gharib, okay? I am someone who will be buried very far away from the Muslim lands. Someone who comes to that far off place to visit me, manzarani fi ghurbati, kataballahu lahu ajr, Allah will record for him the reward. How much reward? 100,000 shaheed. 100,000 shaheeds. How do we even put this into numbers? I think these are just numbers, but it means an immense amount of sawab, uncountable. But in the words of Imam, 100,000 shaheed, 100,000 ek lakh shuhada, wa 100,000 siddiq, and 100,000 sawab of the siddiq. Siddiq are, you know what category? Extremely high category. Quran mentions this, siddiqeen wa salihin wa anbiya and all of this. It's an extremely high category of mu'min. Wa 100,000 hajj, 100,000 hajis, And people who perform Umrah, 100,000. وَمِئَةَ أَلْفٍ مُجَاهِدٍ. And 100,000 people who fight in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How difficult is jihad fi sabilillah? But this is the sawab of the ziyarat of our 8th Imam. Then he continues, وَحُشِرَ. And he will be raised in what status? فِي زُمْرَتِنَا. In our group, in our army, in our company. He'll be regarded as one of us. He won't be separated from us on the Day of Judgment. وَجُعِلَ فِي الدَّرَجَاتِ. And he will be placed in very high stations. مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ. In paradise, رَفِيقَنَا. And he will be our close friend. Someone who does the ziyarat of Imam Ridha. Now, it's becoming a little bit clearer now. Why we have this excellent, proud, wonderful tradition of reciting after every namaz, or we should be reciting after every namaz, these 3 ziyarats. 3rd Imam, 8th Imam, 12th Imam. Now, there is no, someone will, I'm sure you have in your mind, kya hadith ma che, kya lakhelu che, na, nathi. There is nowhere you will find, or nowhere that I have found, that these 3 have been recommended to us, that after every namaz, stand and recite the ziyarat of these 3 holy personalities. Yes, there is a general recommendation at all times that mu'mineen should do the ziyarat of the ma'soomeen. If you can't do it from close, then you can do it from far away in your own homes. We are thousands of miles away from those places, but we can do these ziyarat. And it is said in riwayat that even if you do it from far away, your salam reaches the imam. So, again, so why these 3? Is it a cultural thing? Is it an Iranian thing? If it's an Iranian thing, then I find it difficult because it has spread all the way into the culture of India, Pakistan as well. In India, Pakistan, this is the usual way. And that's how it's come into even our Khoja culture. That we stand and we recite these 3 salams. It seems our best, or my best guess would be, it is simply by looking at these different sayings. Number 1, the outstanding sayings regarding the ziyarat of Abu Abdullah. Number 2, the outstanding sayings regarding the ziyarat of Imam Ridha. And number 3, because we have the Imam of our time, Imam Hujjat, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala, Farajahu Sharif. Another way to look at it is that in mustahabbat, we have lots of flexibility. In mustahabbat, we have lots of flexibility. Many, many things in mustahabbat, you have flexibility. You can't do it in a certain way, don't worry, do it in another way. You can't do it in this way, don't worry. You can't do the full thing, don't worry. Namaz-e-shab 11 rakats. Who prays 11 rakats? Very few, I think. People say, look, 11 rakat, marathi nati thatu. No problem. You can't do 11 rakats, do 9. You can't do 9, do 7. You can't do 7, do 5. You can't do 5. Then the ulama say, okay, do at least 3. But then they even say, if you can't do 3, then at least do namaz-e-witr. 1 rakat. The kunut is very long. How will I pray this long kunut in namaz-e-witr? 300 this and 300 that? No. They say even just recite 1 salawat in your kunut of namaz-e-witr, it's enough. In mustahabbat, we have a lot of flexibility. So this is a mustahab thing. So whether you include 3 imams, 14 masumeen, or other imams or not, this is entirely up to you. But this is a very, very good practice. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, you are very highly encouraged to keep this practice. Imagine 3 times a day, Fajr, Zuhrain, Maghribain, 3 times a day you are performing the ziyarat of Abu Abdullah, Imam Ridha, and our 12th Imam. Now, what are the meanings of these sentences that we recite? So these sentences that we recite for Imam Ridha alayhi salam are full of the fazail of Imam Ridha alayhi salam. Ya assalamu alayka ya gharib al-ghuraba. I've chosen a few of them. You'll come up with more, I'm sure. Ya gharib al-ghuraba. Gharib in Arabic. Gharib in Arabic is different to gharib in Gujarati and Urdu. Gharib in Gujarati and Urdu means what? Poor. This doesn't mean poor. Gharib in Arabic means someone who is far from his home. He is stranded or lonely or estranged. This is someone called gharib. Hence, this is why the night of Ashura is called Sham-e Ghariban. Actually, it's Sham-e Ghariban. But because of the Urdu usage of noon, we say Sham-e Ghariban. Because they have now lost even their homes. On the night of Sham-e Ghariba, imagine Ahlul Bayt, people of the house, they no longer have any house. The tents were burned, etc. Hence, it's extremely apt to call them Ghariban in that sense. that they are away, they are lonely, they are vulnerable, etc. So he is ghareebul ghuraba. He is the most ghareeb of all those who are ghareeb, because his qabr, his marqad, his haram is very far away from the traditional Muslim lands. Mu'ina du'afa wal fuqara. Oh, the one who assists the weak and the poor. Shamsa Shumus. You are the sun of all of the suns, S-U-N. You are the Suraj of all of the suns. Compare all of the suns, you are the outstanding one. You are the brightest star. You are the absolutely excellent, radiant being. Anisun Nufus. You are the close companion of the souls. This also refers to the hadith that I recited previously, that Imam Ridha alayhi salam will come to help us at our time of need on the Day of Judgment. Ayyuhal madafun bi ardi Tus. O one who has been buried in the land of Tus, the old name of that area. Ar-Radhi bil Qadri wal Qadha. Referencing his name of Ridha, we say, you are Radhi. You are completely happy with whatever Allah decrees. Kun shafi'ana. Be our shafi'. O Imam Ridha alayhi salam, we ask you, we have just done your ziarat, just took a few seconds after our namaz. Now we ask you, we need your help. Help us. Kun shafi'ana. Do our shafa'at. Intercede for us. Speak to Allah for us. Help us to be free of our sins and our issues on the Day of Judgment. Wa shafi'a walidayna. And for our parents as well, fi yawmil jaza, on the Day of Judgment. Then we add some other sentences. One of the brothers of this community, he adds some wonderful sentences which I think are very beautiful. They're not in Arabic, they're actually in Farsi. I always love it when he recites ziyarat, and I have actually taken them from him on this occasion. We say, for example, Aghaye Ghariban, subhanallah. O sire, S-I-R-E, sire, sir, of all those who are lonely and away from home. Maulaye bi kasan. Be kasan, Urdu way of saying it, bi kasan, Farsi way of saying it. Maulaye bi kasan. O the master of those who have no one else. Ay zamine yatiman. O the one who looks after the orphans. This is a lovely laqab of Imam, that he is Imam-e Zamin. Imam-e Zamin. Why? Because he looks after people, he takes care of people. This is a very interesting narration that I found, not a narration as such, a story from the life of, in the book of Sheikh Abbas Qummi. Sheikh Abbas Qummi, his famous book is which one? Mafati. He has another one, Manazil-e-Akhirah as well. This describes things of the hereafter. He narrates that on one occasion, there's a story from someone called Haj Ali Baghdadi. Haj Ali Baghdadi was very fortunate. He met Imam Zamana, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajuhu Sharif. He asked a question to Imam. He said, "Oh Imam, I want to know something. Explain this to me." He narrates, he says, "Imam, many years ago, I was in Mashhad. I was doing the ziyarat of the 8th Imam. And we had met a person who had come from Najaf. He was an Arab. He had come to Iran, to Mashhad, to do the ziyarat of the 8th Imam. We told him, come and have dinner with us. So he came and he had dinner with us. We were speaking to him and we said, just as you would amongst Zawar, you're in that spiritual status, you're in that kind of mood, your mindset is there. We asked him, we said, what do you find in the love and the ziyarat of Imam Ridha alayhi salam? We asked him this question. He says, let me tell you something. I find nothing but paradise. We said, can you explain? He says, let me tell you something. I have been here for 15 days. And in these 15 days, I have managed to nourish myself with the food and tabarrukat, niyaz, etc., all these things that has been procured with the wealth of Imam Ridha. And now I can tell you something. Munkar and Nakir will dare not come to me. These are the words of Sheikh Abbas Qummi, the way he narrates it. Munkar and Nakir will dare not come to me because of the food that I have consumed from the wealth of Imam Ridha. It has turned into my flesh and blood now. And this is why I say this. So Haj Ali Baghdadi says to Imam Zaman, he says, can you explain this to me? What does this mean? Our 12th Imam replies, yes, it is true. Imam Ridha himself will come and save him from the questioning in the grave. For verily, my grandfather is Imam Zamin. My grandfather is verily Imam Zamin. Now, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Of the different narrations, we have many narrations from the 8th Imam. Of the different narrations of the 8th Imam, we have many narrations on the topic of namaz. Very, very interesting. I was looking at these and I was pondering upon them, and inshallah we will discuss them more. Now, people are going through tough times. We have cost of living crises, we have financial difficulties, we have difficulties in family, so many family issues that are being reported by people. We pray to Allah to alleviate their difficulties, of course, but so many issues. Husband and wife are not on the same page, they don't get along, they look at things differently, they have different ways of bringing up the children, they have different ways of running the house. All of these things are there. We are full of problems, and the financial stuff is going on, and cost of living is high, and people are really in bad situations. Is there something that we can do, something simple, something straightforward, that can alleviate these things? The answer is always namaz. You come up with almost any issue in your life to do with your worldly or otherworldly future, you will find the answer will come namaz. Ayatollah Behjat says the following. He says, listen to this very carefully, brothers and sisters. Whoever has formed a habit of delaying his namaz, then let him be ready to suffer a delay in all his worldly affairs. Let him be ready to suffer a delay in getting married, in getting a job, in choosing a career, in having a child. But let me tell you something, whatever level of punctuality and order you have in your namaz, you will also have that same level of order in your worldly life. Now, namaz is something that Imam Ridha alayhi salam speaks about a lot. Especially one thing which I found very simple. We all know how to do it. Inshallah, we are doing it, but maybe we can concentrate on it more, which is the preliminaries of namaz. One of them is what? Azan. Let's think about azan for a minute. Azan is for what? Who can tell me? What is azan for? Why do we recite azan? To call, right? This is all we say, call to prayer. I ask you, when you're alone at home, who do you call? You're alone in your office, in your home. Who do you call? There's no one around. Maybe there's no other Muslims around. Not in your home, but in your office, I'm saying. Maybe there are no other people around who are going to come and pray. So who are you calling? Ji? Preparing. Ahsant. Preparing. We are getting in the mindset of namaz. See, in the morning you wake up, and from that moment on you are completely in a hectic situation. Are you not? You're dealing with your family members, your kids, your spouse, your issues, your timings. You're looking at your watch. I have to leave. I have to get here. You get to work. You deal with people. You deal with your clients and your customers. Matakuti here, there. All these things are going on. You're completely in a different frame of mind. Now namaz time comes along, and now you have to actually stand with serenity and calm and pray to Allah. It's not easy. How are you going to switch off from that hectic few hours that you've just had, and now you expect, now I will stand bo sukoon sate ne itminan sate ne khuda sate wat karis. Does it make sense? It doesn't really work like that. It's not a switch that you go on and off, that all of a sudden you become very much into Allah. The last few hours you were very much into worldly things. So Islam pushes you gently into this zone where it tries to change your mindset to make you ready for namaz. One of them is azan. One of them is before azan, wudu. Have you read the du'as associated with wudu? How Islam pushes you into that mindset that now you are going for something very, very tremendous. Take away all of those worldly matakutis and worries and issues and your work and your office and your boss and your customers and your money and your expense. Take away all of that and think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma bayyid wajhi yawma taswaddu fihil wujuh. You start washing your face. You say, oh Allah, enlighten my face on the day when other faces will be dark. وَلَا تُسَوِّدْ وَجْهِي, and don't make my face dark on the day that other faces will be bright. Allahumma atini kitabi biyamini. When you wash your right hand, Islam pushes you more, think. Forget what you've been doing last few hours. Now you have a very important thing coming up. Think. Allahumma atini kitabi biyamini. Oh Allah, as I'm washing my right hand, I say to you, make sure you give my book to me in my right hand. Wal khulda fil jinani biyasari. Let me see the doors of heaven on my left. وَحَاسِبْنِي حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا, and give me an easy accounting. Then you wash your left. And immediately, again, Islam pushes you. Forget what you've just been doing. Think about God. You're just about to stand in front of Him. Allahumma la tu'tini kitabi bishimali. Oh Allah, don't give me my book in my left hand. Don't make it one of these books that hangs around my neck. Don't give it from behind my back. Then you do your masa and your feet, and every stage you are saying something different. Pushing you into the mindset and the frame of mind of namaz, that you are now going to speak to your Lord. Okay, wuzu take you? You're done wuzu now? You stand on your musalla. You begin to recite azan. Allahu Akbar Allah. So now you are telling yourself more than anyone else. Don't just think of it as a call to others. It's a call to yourself first and foremost, and most importantly, it's a call to yourself. Put these phrases in your mind. What does Allahu Akbar mean? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness. So then when you stand in namaz and you say Allahu Akbar for takbir, and all your other thoughts are circling in your mind, I have to pay him, I have to chase him, I have to phone him, I have to reply to him, I have to do this. Then you'll say, hang on a second, I just few seconds ago said, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And that will push you more. Then you testify to the Prophet of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And you should think to yourself, well, I have a prophet. I wonder how he prayed. As-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. He's told us that whenever he would pray, he would be on like a mi'raj, like a spiritual ascension. And he would say at the time of namaz, he would be waiting anxiously. As soon as he would see that it's time of namaz, he would say, Ar-rihna, ya Bilal. Oh Bilal, put us at ease. I'm anxious. When is it namaz time? When is it namaz time? Put me at ease. Tell me now it is namaz time. Say that word, Allahu Akbar. So you are telling yourself again and again that you are now going to face someone very, very special. More special than your customers and your clients and every other thing that you have left behind. Why? Because now you are in a proper mindset. Hisham ibn Ibrahim narrates. He says, I came to Ali ibn Musa Ridha alayhi salatu wassalam. And I complained. I said, Mawla, I am suffering illness. And I am not getting any children. I'm married, but my wife is not getting pregnant. Imam said to me, recite the adhan in your house loudly. We may be reciting adhan. Here, Imam Ridha especially says to recite loudly. Let the people of your house hear. Let the walls of your house hear. On Day of Judgment, they will bear witness that this man used to recite azan. Let this happen. So he says, I did this, and my illness was cured, and Allah granted me children as well. Then another person, he heard about this. The word spread. Another person heard about this. This is Muhammad ibn Rashid. He says, I too was always in this situation. I was continuously falling ill. And this illness was also going to my family members. Whoever lived in my house, they would also fall ill. A time came when we were all so ill that now I was extremely ill and no one could help me because they were all suffering in their own way. We were all falling ill. I remembered this story that I had heard regarding azan. So I said, let me also try. Who knows, maybe it will work for me as well. He said, I tried, I did it, and I also started to act accordingly. Allah relieved me and my family of our illness. A person comes to 6th Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, and says, Allahumma salli ala. He says, Mawla, I'm suffering from poverty. I have money issues. Imam says to him, when you hear the azan, recite along with it. So sometimes, for example, right now, who's going to give azan tonight? I don't know, but whoever it is, the one person gives. We don't all give, do we? But what Imam is saying here is that even when one person gives, maybe your son is giving in your house, you recite along with him. This is called hikayat of azan. Muazzin says Allahu Akbar, you then follow it immediately with Allahu Akbar. Muazzin says a sentence, you immediately follow it with the same sentence. So you recite along with the Muazzin. Very, very effective. For different issues in the house. Anban hoy, jagra hoy, people are not getting along. There's a sense of negativity, no peace in the house, for example. Try this. Azan aloud. Recite the azan. So azan, wudu, the du'as, iqama, etc., is all there to get us into the right frame of mind that we are going in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now here is where it gets serious. Because the du'as are mustahab. Azan is mustahab, although highly recommended. Iqama is mustahab, although highly recommended. But now when you come to takbiratul ihram, from here on everything becomes wajib. So now you know the real conversation has started between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now there is one thing here which I often think we make a mistake. We narrate many things which are absolutely true. For example, we narrate how the fourth Imam, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, used to turn pale at the time of namaz. Amirul Mu'mineen sometimes would lose consciousness at the time of namaz. One of the ashab came to Janab Fatima and told her, we give you condolences for Ali. She says, what do you mean you give me condolences? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. She says, what do you mean you give me condolences for Ali? They say, we think he's passed away. She said, where was he? They said, he was in such and such place. She said, don't worry. When he prays, often he becomes unconscious. This is normal for Ali. We hear of him in Battle of Siffin, arrow in the leg. He had to pray for them to take it out. We hear all these things. Now, you tell me, how many of us are ever going to get to that stage? Inshallah, we try. We will definitely try. But realistically, how many of us have ever experienced that kind of fear of Allah? I'm sure you'll agree with me, many people are praying and they're not sure, is it my second rakat or third rakat? And we're telling them, you need to pray a namaz in which you'll cry and you'll tremble and you'll turn pale. This is unrealistic in the beginning. This is not going to happen in the beginning. If it happens, then it's very, very lucky that it happens to someone. But usually, no, these things don't happen in the beginning. In the beginning, we need to start somewhere else. We need to think about namaz in a different way. So let's change for a moment the way we think about namaz. One day, inshallah, we'll get to the stage where we tremble and turn pale and we cry in our namaz. And when our namaz resembles namaz of the ma'sumeen maybe. But until that point, we need to start a little bit back. With salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, in the beginning of namaz, when maybe you've just become baligh and you're starting to pray namaz. Or maybe for whatever reason you haven't had a habit of praying namaz. Or you used to delay namaz or whatever. In the beginning, what will happen? I guarantee you, namaz will annoy you. I guarantee it. It will disgruntle you, it will annoy you. I want to play a sport, but it's namaz time. Damn, I have to pray. I want to watch this thing on TV. It's namaz time. Damn, I have to turn it off and go and pray. I'm really comfortable in bed in the morning, but it's namaz-e-fajr time. Parents come to wake me up, or the alarm clock goes. Damn, I have to get up and pray. It disgruntles you, yes or no? It disgruntles you. It annoys you. Guess what? It's meant to annoy you. It's meant to disgruntle you. Allah is training you. Allah is showing you something very special. He's showing you that if you want to come onto my road, if you want to tread on my path, you will get annoyed at times. You will get disgruntled at times. You will feel pain at times. But this is the path. Do you want to grow as a person or not? If you don't feel pain and discomfort from time to time, you don't grow. If you don't put yourself in a place where it's uncomfortable for you, then you will never progress. This is all built into the whole system of namaz, that in the beginning, it will disgruntle you, it will annoy you. People say, but we should enjoy namaz. We should love namaz. Isn't namaz about love? Isn't namaz about all these things that we hear from Urafa like Ayatollah Bajat and Allama Tabatabai and Imam Khomeini? Isn't that what namaz is? Of course it is. But when? When? In the beginning? On day one? No. It's not going to happen on day one. Let's be realistic. So it's something that we have to work towards. So we have to change some of our way of thinking about namaz, that in the beginning, let it annoy you. Stand on that musalla and say something. Say, Allah, I really didn't want to be here, but because you said to be here, I've come. Allah, I don't know why you want to see me. You put my head on the floor, which I would never do for anyone or anything else, but for you I'll do it. Oh Allah, I don't really have interest here at the moment, but I'm praying because I'm saying yes to you and your command. Agha Panahian gives a very beautiful example. He says, think of the military. Okay? Think of the military. When you go into the military, what happens? One of the first things they teach you is that you are in a hierarchy, yes or no? You start off at the bottom. You have someone on top of you. He has someone on top of him. It goes all the way up. One of the first things they tell you to do when you join the army is they tell you, no matter what happens, you must respect and obey your senior officer. When he walks in, you have to stand up. You have to stand straight. You have to put your hand like this. You have to salute. Whatever he says, you say, chashm. Yes, okay. Whatever he does, you say, bale qurban. I will do it, no problem. He tells you to do this, you say, yes. Do we have this behavior in any other walk of life? In a bank, do people stand up like this when the bank manager walks in? In a hospital, when the senior consultant comes, do people stand up and salute? No, they're very relaxed. They're very chilled out. In every other walk of life almost, you can think that this behavior is not replicated. But in the army, they tell you that you must do this. Why? Why the army? Why in particular you have to do this? Someone tell me, come on. Why? Why in the army? This is not a religious question. On a worldly level, why in the army they're expecting you to show so much reverence to your senior officer? Discipline. Okay, but again, in a bank, in a hospital, you're disciplined, yeah? Ji? I'll take that. Because they are defenders of the nation. Meaning what? Meaning kal saware, tomorrow you'll have to go maybe on the front line. Yes? In an army, you may have to go on the front line. Now, is your commanding officer in the army going to tell you, oh, excuse me, would you really mind? I have a suggestion. See what you think. I think we should go and actually fight these people. What do you say? Do you agree or not? He's going to tell you, get up, go there, good luck, and fight. And you'll have to say, yes, sir. Because you have now been conditioned and trained to do that. All those years building up to that fight, that battle, that war that you're fighting now, you know that if I don't agree with this person, it's a matter of life and death. So they train you from day one. That no matter what mood you are in, what state you are in, you feel like it, you don't feel like it, I'm tired, I'm not tired, I'm watching TV, I'm not watching TV, whatever it is, when your commanding officer tells you to do something, you say, yes, sir. Namaz is telling you, Allah is your commanding officer. Namaz is telling you, Allah is the one that you have to say yes, sir, to. Is it acceptable, for example, that I say, I'm not in a good mood for praying at the moment? Is it acceptable? Islam says it's not acceptable. I don't feel like praying. I'll pray later. I'll pray when that tawfiq of prayers comes. This is the best one. I love this one. I'll pray when the tawfiq of prayers comes into my heart. This is the tawfiq. The fact that you know it's namaz time is the tawfiq that you get up and pray. So namaz has to be looked at in this way. That this is something that will annoy you, it will disgruntle you, you won't enjoy it, you won't like it, you won't tremble, you won't cry and these things in the beginning, but you will appear there because Allah said so. Allah, you wanted me to do these movements which I never do in my life, I'll do them. Say these words which often, because I'm a non-Arab speaker, I don't understand, I will say it. You wanted me here. So we have to condition ourselves in this different kind of way. Namaz is something that if you get it right, it will serve you in so many different ways. Now, another question with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Have you seen how restrictive the rules of namaz are? You have to stand in a certain way, facing a certain direction. You can't move here, there. You can't look around. You can't turn your body. You can't say other things. You can't say different words which are not part of namaz. You can't talk to someone, for example. You can't take a phone call. You can't do these other things which you would normally not even think twice about. Why? Why have such a restrictive method of namaz? This is a long discussion and time is short, so I'm just going to give you a quick example. From the hadith that I recited in the beginning, from Imam Ali ibn Musa Ridha alayhi salatu wassalam. He says, in namaz, you are so much controlled. You are so much controlled in namaz. Even where you look is controlled. Even where you look is controlled. So I will ask you, and inshallah you'll reply. Tell me, when we are standing and reciting Surah Fatiha and the other surah, or Tasbihat Arba'ah, where are we supposed to look? At the mohr. In ruku, where are we supposed to look? Between the feet. In sujood, where are we supposed to look? Some here says mohr, here nose. Nose. Yeah? Picture, as I'm talking, picture. Qiyam, mohr. Ruku, between the feet. Sujood, nose. Tashahud, lap. Lap, in between the knees or the lap. Can you see a similarity here from all of these different things where you're told to look? No, but what's the similarity? Looking down. Looking down. Why in ruku can't I look at my mohr? Why in sujood I can't look between my feet? Why in tashahud I can't look at the mohr? These are all mustahabbat of namaz. Why? Because when you raise your eyes like this, it's not humble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His brilliant religion, is telling you, I expect you, when you stand before me, you're always looking down in humility. Whether it's qiyam, you're looking down. Ruku, you're looking down. Sujood, you're looking down. Don't raise your eyes at me. You should be looking down. You should be humble. Don't turn this way and that way. Why? Because it's not humble. All of these things, when you stand, put your palms on your thighs and join your fingers together. Humility. So Imam says, وَيَكُونُ نَظَرُكَ فِي وَقْتِ الْقِرَاءَ. Imam Raza says, when you are in the time of qira'ah, you have to look at the place of your sujood and at the time of ruku between your feet. Everything in namaz is pushing us one way. Be humble, be humble, be humble. Now, the question with which we finish. Why then is the namaz sometimes not successful? If it's pushing us towards humility, then what could be the thing that makes namaz not successful? Lack of humility. Right? Have you followed the logic? If namaz is pushing you continuously into a humble state of mind, then what is the thing that will make your namaz not successful? Lack of humility. This is where Agha Panahiyan says we have the biggest problem. We think of ourselves as too much. And when you go into namaz with a sense of pride, maybe I can say, or thinking of yourself as maybe special or arrogance, that's where the problem is. Namaz is pushing you again and again into humility. What are you saying in sajda? Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. And in ruku, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Look at these words. Of all the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are told these ones. Azim, the most mighty. We're not here saying merciful or kind or this or that. A very serious name of God, the Almighty. So that you think continuously about the might of Allah and the insignificance of yourself. In sajda, what do we say? Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, the most high. And look where you are when you're saying it. You're the most low. You are telling yourself, because Allah already knows these things, you are telling yourself, I am extremely low, and in this lowly, lowest position, which I would not do in front of anyone else, I'm doing it in front of you, and I'm declaring that you are the most high. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the wasila of Imam Ridha alayhi salam to help us perfect our namaz, our worship, our ibadat. May He accept our prayers and our efforts, inshallah. May He give us the ziarat of Ali ibn Musa Ridha, inshallah. Bless our marhumeen, hasten the repentance of the 12th Imam, keep our community united and strong, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsan, Sheikh Abbas. May I invite Muhammad Abbas Jafar for poetry, followed by Kazim Kasam for Qasida. Please welcome them with an ayah salawat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Firstly, congratulations to each and every one of you on the Wiladat of Imam Ridha, alayhi salam, and thank you for the invite as well. I'm going to recite two poems, inshallah. One is a biography of the 8th Imam, and the second is much shorter, but inshallah I need your help. But I'll explain more when we get there. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Ridha loved poetry and would often listen to Di'bir, whose words would make the Imam laugh and cry and feel. So today I will be a poet for you and tell you about Imam Al-Ridha, for the ones who discuss the Ahlul Bayt will be saved from the Nar. His father was Kadhimin al-Ghaytha, for nothing angered him. Even though he was oppressed, he still remained Kadhim. His mother had many names, including Tuktum and Arwa. Some even called her Najma, for she shone brightly like a star. When his parents named him after Mawla and his sister after Zahra, the aim was very clear, that despite every tyrant's wish, these names would never disappear. So if you have a child, call them Ali if they are a boy. So we'll have 1 million haters who'll fill our Mahdi with joy. And if you have a child, name her Fatima if she's a girl. So we'll have 1 million Zahras in every corner of this world. Talking about Imam's sister, her name was Fatima II. She went where she was needed, and the land of Qum beckoned. Like Nabi said about Zahra, Al-Kadhim said about Ma'suma, may your father be sacrificed for you, Fidaha Abuha. She narrated many ahadith, including the story of Ghadir. Her understanding is undeniable. Her knowledge is crystal clear. As they were growing up, their father was in jail so often, yet even though he wasn't there, his teachings weren't forgotten. This meant that Al-Ridha became a lantern for every single Shia. He had to guide them out of darkness, without a single shred of fear. Banu Abbas ruled with such an iron fist, his followers did taqiyya. Yet Al-Ridha's intellect was so sharp, it's no wonder he was revered. Yet all this time, behind closed doors, their tyranny had embedded. Harun would take the lovers of Ali and have each one beheaded. So Imam kept a low profile in Medina and gave sermon after sermon and answered every question from every visitor in Arabic, in Farsi, and even in German. Harun thought by killing the seventh Imam that Babul Hawaj was no more. Yet Al-Qadim lives through Al-Ridha, who will forever be the door. Those who had collected khums for Al-Qadim now just wanted to make a profit. They didn't care about Ridha's imamat, only about lining their own pockets. Ma'mun made Imam crown prince. It seemed a sincere proposal, but he was keeping his friends close and his enemies much closer. So Imam left Medina and for a while in Qum remained, the first Imam to do 10 nights majalis for Imam al-Hussein. When Ridha arrived in Khurasan, Ma'mun welcomed him as his heir. Yet Imam turned him down, saying he'd never get a share. It wasn't Ma'mun's to distribute if Allah gave him this position, and if he appointed himself, then he did so without permission. When Ali ibn Musa refused again, Ma'mun threatened Imam's life, at which point he had to accept and face all the trials and strife. No wonder he was called Al-Ridha, the one who was always pleased, whether it was goodness or troubles he received. Ma'mun ensured on every coin Ridha's face was marked, yet Imam was worth so much more than every dirham in Hijaz. In Silsilatul Dhahab, the hadith of the golden chain, Ridha showed his direct link to God and made his right to imamat plain. He explained that Kalama is a fortress, and to enter there's a condition. If you don't have love of Ali, Allah will never give you permission. Imam had complete control over all of God's creations. Even the deer that was given reprieve returned right back to its station. Imam's word could be trusted. He'd guarantee every single thing. It's for this reason he was rightly named Zamin. Imam even had complete control over both insan and jinn. And when the scholars came to debate him, he would always win. The priest said Christ was greatest, for no one ever prayed more. Yet Imam asked, who Jesus prayed to if he himself was Lord? The rabbi said he only followed prophets who did miracles. Imam asked why he rejected Jesus then. The rabbi was left quizzical. Then came the atheist, trying to contain God to time and space. He couldn't believe in a God who didn't have a face. Yet Imam said that we believed because we couldn't see. It showed how great he was and how limited are we. Imam was surrounded by so many in the court that it's hard to comprehend that a stranger in strange lands is how this story ends. So whilst the stranger in strange lands is how this story ends, never worry, Imam Ridha. In us, you will always have a friend. In a second, we're going to come to the bit where I need your help. The chorus is very simple. It's Ali, Ali, Ali. And then after every word I say, you respond Ali in your loudest voices, inshallah. But before that, one more line. Now remember, when his parents named him after Mawla, the aim was very clear, that despite every tyrant's wish, Ali's name would never disappear. Ali, 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 born in the Kaaba, Ali, Sadqa in Salah, Ali, loved by Ikhlas, leader of Kufa, living Quran, breathing Quran, walking Quran, talking Quran, talking Quran, talking Quran. Ali, 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 sleeper in the bed, fed the unfed, stayed while they fled, he stayed while they fled, leader not the led, Zahra he wed, struck on the head, Fustu he said, Fustu he said, Fustu he said, Ali, 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 gate to the city, victor of Siffin, leading mu'mineen, ziarat al-mustaqim, first to the deen, hukuk ad-deen, hafiz ad-deen, he is the deen, he is the deen. Ali, 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 never number 4, lion at war, Haider when he rose, lifted the door, gave to the poor, we will implore, we do adore, you can't ignore, Ali, 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 Haider Karar, Hawdhu Fikar, Abu Turab, Sher Khuda, Nukta Eba, Abul Abbas, Abul Hasnain, Shah Mashrakain, Wanat Hunain, Wanat Khandak, Wanat Khaybar, Wanat Jamal, Wanat Badar, in Akabar, Ali, 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 Sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
और मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलवात। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा। वो आलिम मकान में नाज़िर की नज़र है, उसको मेरी आमाल की नीयत की खबर है। होने से भी पहले जिसे होने का पता है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा। जन्नत की सनद जिसकी ज़ियारत का सिला है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो मौला रज़ा मौला। दिल मूसा काज़िम से ये कहता है अदब से, है प्यार मुझे आपकी औलाद में सबसे। लेकिन तेरी औलाद में जो मौला रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा है। वो जिसकी रज़ा खालिक अकबर की रज़ा है, वो मौला रज़ा मौला रज़ा। शब्बर भी है शब्बीर भी सज्जाद भी पे हम, बाक़िर यही जाफ़र यही है मूसा काज़िम। जो सात व ज़हरा को पे सरहक से मिला है, वो मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा है, वो मौला रिज़ा है। वो जिसकी रिज़ा खालिक अकबर की रिज़ा है, वो मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा है, वो मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा मौला रिज़ा है। और मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
Sant, mashallah, what beautiful recitations, both of them. I'll go through the announcements quite quickly. We're kind of running out of time. 9:29, I believe, is namaz time. So today, Saturday, 11th June 2022, 11th Zilqad 1443. Tomorrow, Sunday, 12th June, Majlis has been arranged at North Watford Cemetery at 2:30 p.m., not a.m. 2:30 p.m. It says a.m. here. Thursday, 16th June, Jumeirah program will start at 8 p.m. with Surah Yasin, Majlis by Sheikh Abbas Ismail on the topic Commentary on the Qualities of the Pious. Following the success of the Marhaba Records Festival in May, Stanmore Jaffries are now holding the Marhaba Teams Festival consisting of netball and football for ladies on 2nd and 3rd July at Aldenham School. Spectators are welcome to come and join us for a weekend of amazing sporting talent, barbecue, stalls, games and fun. For more information, to submit a team or to register as a spectator, please visit sjladies.org or DM us on Instagram at Stanmore Jaffrey Ladies or Stanmore Jaffrey's Ladies. We will be restarting, the Jamaat will be restarting the annual rugby car parking pass, I think well in time before Muharram. Inshallah, this can be purchased for £80 a year and will allow the holder to park at rugby without having to pay the £1 charge during each visit. Please note, this does not provide any preferential treatment, and parking will still be subject to first come, first serve basis. Please visit the Hujjat website or contact the admin team for more details. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Engagement announcements. The Jamaat takes note of the following engagements. Sister Sadika, daughter of Iftikhar Hussain and Fatim Nazrali of Mombasa, to brother Mustafa, son of Mahmoud and Sabira Ramji. Sister Asia, daughter of Zahir and Sukaina Panju, to brother Kumail, son of Masum and Sukaina Ghulam Sen. The Jamaat there is a third one. Sister Sumaya, daughter of Ali, that's me, and Siddiqa Bandali, to brother Kayam Ali, son of late Hussein Ali Jaisa and Sayyida Damani. The Jamaat congratulates all the parties, including me, on this happy occasion. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. We will now have munajat and then we will prepare for salah at 9:29. Ahsan, Ali Jawad, please.
बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत। या इमाम रज़ा, 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 या इमाम, सब मिलके या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम। हर नफस हर घड़ी मेरे दिल से यही आ रही है सदा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम। तेरी अज़मत पे भला क्यों न दलालत बनता, शेर कालीन का किस तरह न जिंदा होता। है हकीकत यही तेरी मर्जी में ही है खुदा की रज़ा। या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम या इमाम। गैर मुमकिन को यूँ होते हुए देखा मुमकिन, जागती आँखों से जन्नत में गुजारे कई दिन। उसको क्या हो यकीन जिसने देखा नहीं कभी रोज़ा तेरा। या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या मेरे इस वक्त तेरे दर पे नज़र है मौला, और तुझे मेरी मुसीबत की खबर है मौला। दूर उफ्ताद कर मेरी इमदाद कर, तू है मुश्किल कुशा। या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा। इल्तिजा आपसे करता हूँ इमाम हश तुम, उनके सदके में जिन्हें कहते हैं मासूम कुम। जो परेशान है जल्द कर दीजिए उसकी हाजत रवा। या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा, या इमाम रज़ा। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत।
Please prepare for salah.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح هيا على خير العمل هيا على خير الأمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد فذلك الله ربي. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا آمنا فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والنجاة من النار ومن كل بلية والفوز بالجنة والرضوان في دار السلام وجوار نبيك محمد عليه وآله السلام. اللهم ما بنا من نعمة فمنك، لا إله إلا أنت، أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن مولانا أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد كذلك الله ربي. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بنا ما أنت أهل ولا تفعل بنا ما نحن أهله يا أهل التقوى والمغفرة يا أرحم الراحمين. الله أكبر الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات الله صل على. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. بحق امام رضا. આપણામાં જે ભાઈઓ બહેનો બચ્ચાઓ બીમાર હોય, ખાસ કરીને એક મોમિન ભાઈ કેન્સરનો મરીઝ છે, યા અલ્લાહ આપણે દુઆ કરે કે અલ્લાહ આ લોકો બધાને શફા દે, બધાની તકલીફો દૂર થાય. આપણા આલિમો મરજા મોમિનીન ને મોમિનાત દુનિયામાં જ્યાં બી હોય, યા અલ્લાહ તું આ લોકોને હિફ્ઝો અમાનમાં રાખ, અમારી બધી હાજતો પૂરી કર, અમારા ઇલ્મમાં વધારું કર. એવી દુઆ સાથે આપણે બધા સાથે 5 ફેરે અમ્મન યુજીબ પડીએ. औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम. बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. अम्मन युजीबुल मुस्तर्रा इज़ा दअऊ व यक्शिफु सू. अम्मन युजीबुल मुस्तर्रा इज़ा दअऊ व यक्शिफु सू. अम्मन युजीबुल मुस्तर्रा इज़ा दअऊ व यक्शिफु सू. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. سورة فاتحة شفاء المرضى ودفع البلاء.
أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنه ليس لأم بموضع رزقي، وإنما أطلبه بخطرات تخطر على قلبي، فأجول في طلبه البلدان، فأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيران، لا أدري أم في سهل وأم في جبل أم في أرض أم في سماء أم في بر أم في بحر، وعلى يدي من ومن كبر من، وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك، وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك. اللهم فصل على محمد وآله، واجعل يا ربي رزقك لي واسعا ومطلبه سهلا ومأخذه قريبا، ولا تؤنني بطلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا، فإنك غني عن عذابك وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك. فصل على محمد وآله، وجد على عبدك بفضلك، إنك ذو فضل عظيم.
زيارة.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن. عجل الله فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك، واجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
اللهم كن وليك حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا رب.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. I have a very important announcement to make. Brothers, if I can have your attention, I have an important announcement. May I please request everyone to sit down so the volunteers can serve. Asant.